Howdy folks, how's it going? Aloha from Hawaii. So the subject of this video is, what the hell is the point of the spiritual path? Now in the most simplistic terms, you could say that the point of the spiritual path is greater happiness. We all want to be happy, we all want to enjoy our lives, and many of us find ourselves on a spiritual path, if you will, because we have challenges and difficulty and trauma and whatnot in our lives, and things are not going as we want them to, and so we start searching around, seeking something to answer our questions and to provide us with tools to make our lives more sane, more manageable, happier, all around, more fun to be here in this body on planet Earth. But really that doesn't encapsulate the concept of the spiritual path, because you can make happiness the focus of your life regardless of whether or not you believe in a spiritual reality. You can be a scientific materialist and want to find ways to improve your life and improve your mind power and find the full potential in your life regardless of being on a spiritual path technically. Now, certainly there are some people who disagree with this concept of designating a spiritual outlook. People have posted some comments below some of my videos saying, why are you calling it the spiritual path? Because in some sense then it is all spiritual, and so why are you making this designation of there's the spiritual world and then there's this physical world that is somehow separate from it? And so this is actually making duality more prominent rather than a worldview and outlook of oneness. Now personally I disagree with this argument against making a spiritual paradigm different from that of a non-spiritual paradigm. Certainly most people on Earth are actually religious in some sense. I believe that it's a majority, but not everyone is. There are obviously atheists and agnostics and people who just kind of don't really think about it all much at all. And so there is obviously a spectrum of beliefs on whether this world is simply a physical world and we are just physical bodies in it, or whether there is something that exists beyond this world. So the non-spiritual point of view then says that this is just a physical world. Yes, it is just energy. Yes, it is very mysterious, especially with various advancements in science and physics. I believe science is quite amazing and is absolutely discovering the true nature of this physical universe, but this physical universe is not all that exists, and there are realms of reality that exist beyond this physical universe, separate in some way, not really separate, overlaid on top of, enmeshed within this physical world, yet you can't see it with your naked eyes. You can't touch it. You can't use a microscope and zoom in on it. It cannot be detected through the means of this physical world. So then what does that mean? What's the point of a spiritual reality if science can't find it? And so here is really the true point of the spiritual path, if you will, as I see it, which is that it is about your consciousness. And these other realms of reality can be accessed, seen, perceived, experienced through your consciousness. You have to leave your body behind, not necessarily permanently. You can still be here in your body. There are various ways. You can astral travel, you can meditate. And so what it truly comes down to for me, as I see it, is that the ultimate point of the spiritual path is a matter of utilizing your consciousness to its full capability, or at least increasing the true capability and power and potential and the exploration that is possible within the realms of consciousness. The spiritual path is about making your consciousness the most important thing that there is, basically, and seeking to change, transform, evolve, tap into the true power of one's consciousness. Because consciousness is prime, consciousness is the originator of reality, including this physical reality. And so, yes, this physical reality is not separate, it is not non-spiritual, it is all spiritual. But with a spiritual outlook, then you acknowledge that your consciousness, which itself is a doorway to universal consciousness, is driving your entire life and is creating your reality. And ultimately, as John Lennon said, you don't take nothing with you but your soul. And so consciousness equals soul. And so there is much untapped, unrealized potential within our consciousness. And turning to a spiritual outlook is a matter of going within and going deeper into that which is within you and finding out what is really there, what you are hiding from yourself, what are you running away from, what are you simply unaware of, what is lurking in the darkness, what is right there in the light of your own consciousness that you simply are not seeing, what is beyond the seeming boundaries, walls of your consciousness, and how can you expand your consciousness? How can you tap into the full, true nature of your consciousness and start to explore that realm as a vast, mysterious, infinite realm of possibility that can absolutely, totally, irrevocably change our lives and our experience of reality and where our life goes forwards from here. And so there are all these various practices that make exploring your consciousness and becoming more aware, more awake within your own consciousness, a greater focus of your life. And so meditation and yoga and qigong and becoming aware of the chakras and tapping into your prana and the Kundalini, and perhaps astral traveling, opening up the third eye. I believe that all this stuff is real, that it is a potential for us. I've experienced most of that stuff. And this is our true potential that is waiting for us, lying dormant, while much of the world is asleep in either a worldview that says that this physical reality is all that exists and there is no spiritual realms, or religious viewpoints that are very constrictive, dogmatic, closed-minded, and that are not truly tapping into that power and potential within. Most religions are basically a social, political power structure that is there to a great extent to actually keep people smaller and limited, following the social norms rather than truly tapping into their full power and potential. So, as I see it, the point of the spiritual path is to make consciousness one's number one focus and initiative and motivation in one's life. How can you truly find out what the real potential of your consciousness is, and see where that leads, and shift one's focus from being fascinated and deluded and distracted by the outer world. Not that it's all unreal, not that it doesn't matter, not that it's irrelevant, but keeping in mind that consciousness is prime, consciousness is where it all originates from, and it is through shifting one's consciousness that outer reality then ultimately changes. I do believe in the concept of the law of attraction, which is a basic concept that our vibration that we are emitting carries an energetic frequency and that energetic frequency tends to attract a similar sort of frequency. And it isn't just one thing, that, oh, you're at 432 megahertz or whatever, but that there are multiple energetic things going on within us, various beliefs, energetic constrictions, and power and potential that we hold, that we truly believe in our true power and potential, and so thus we create our reality in such a way as to make these positive things that we believe in happen. And so, it goes both ways in terms of creating negative, difficult, challenging realities for us, and creating amazing, beautiful, positive, encouraging, uplifting experiences for us. So our consciousness, as I see it, is basically a doorway, a tunnel to source consciousness. There is this third-dimensional, lower-density realm of the physical universe, and then there are increasing vibrations, frequencies of reality that go upwards, you could say, from here. And so the astral realms are the fourth dimension, we call them, and I personally have experienced a out-of-body state multiple times, just kind of briefly, but I had that experience of my consciousness shifting into a fourth dimensional reality. And so that is really, really very, very completely different from this realm, and yet at the same time it is the closest reality to this third dimensional realm. And so things just get weirder and more removed from the physical universe, going upwards from there into fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, however the hell many dimensions there are. So our consciousness then is a doorway that goes through all of these various layers of reality, straight from source consciousness, wherever that is, 12th dimension, or there's really no point in putting a number on it, but basically our consciousness is a tunnel coming down through the dimensions from a higher realm into the third dimensional realm. So we are looking into this world from this other place that we have basically kind of forgotten about and blocked off. But we can travel back through our consciousness to that realm, because that tunnel is still open. The fact that it is seemingly blocked off is really just an illusion, yet it is one that is perpetuated by our beliefs and by our own energetic restrictions around our true potential and around reality in general. And so it is not something that is easily vanquished. You don't just have that realization and then, okay, now you have access to all dimensions of existence. It's not as easy as that, but as I understand it, then that is absolutely available to us. And then so one other point that I want to make here is that one of the most important fundamental points, purposes of the spiritual path, is that of reversing our directional flow. As I understand it, then, basically there was a explosion, if you will, of consciousness that sent a unified conscious awareness being flying off into every direction. And this resulted in the separation of consciousness into the many different beings that exist, each of us being one of them. And so this has been part of the experience of separation, and it is not wrong or bad. It was the intended experience. But ultimately, this flying apart is taking us away from our true state of being a consciousness unified in oneness. And the further we get from that state of being, then the more consciousness tends to sort of dim and go to sleep, because disconnection, separation, is against the true nature of consciousness. And consciousness ultimately needs to be connected in order to have that remembrance of one's true state of being, to have that connection, that flow, because otherwise you end up separated, cut off, and thus you're no longer a part of the collective. You're in your own separate reality, and we need to be connected in order to be in existence ultimately, even though we can experience that state of separation for some time. And so part of the spiritual path is to reverse that flow of flying outwards and start instead driving backwards, back towards source energy. And so how exactly to do this is not really something that can be put into words. I'm not saying that like I have it figured out here or anything. This is just my understanding based on a variety of sources and experiences, which I won't jump into here in depth, but just to have that concept in mind of how can you dig down deeper into your own consciousness in order to get to know yourself more, in order to get to know the true potential of yourself more, and in order to find out what feels good, what feels right, what feels more like you're going in the right direction within yourself in terms of the configuration of your consciousness, the feeling, the energetic flow of your consciousness. And so that is definitely a major point of the spiritual path, is how to find what feels right within yourself by exploring your consciousness more in depth and getting to know yourself more, so that you know where you're going, you know where you want to be, and you figure out how to start heading in the right direction. So, hope that helps. Have a great day. Aloha. Namaste.